Hi, friends. Hello, hello. How is everyone doing? Today, we're going to have live with me, attorney Alena Shautsova. We're going to be discussing the most interesting immigration news. And of course, in the end, I'll be answering your guys' questions. So please join. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know what questions you would like me to answer for you by typing them up in our comments so that after my presentation, I will be able to get back to them and help you guys out and answer them for free, as always. I am practicing from New York, but I do help people in all 50 states and overseas. I've been practicing immigration law in the United States for 16 years at this point. I handle a wide variety of cases. My website, shautsova.com, has hundreds of articles on various immigration topics where you can find your answers for free. And if you still feel that you have more questions, please call our office 917-885-2261 for a consultation. I'll be happy to give you confidential consultation to discuss what is that is bothering you, whatever issue you have with immigration. And yeah, so very nice seeing you all today. And let's start. The first news I wanted to discuss with you concerns a new country that's been designated for TPS, or temporary protected status, which is Lebanon. Lebanese nationals living in the United States will be able to get TPS, or temporary protected status, which is extremely important. TPS has temporary in its name, but the truth is that even though initially it's being provided for 18 months, usually it's going to be extended multiple times until the situation in the person's country, in one's country, improves. Guess what? Some people live in the United States for over 20 years in TPS status. TPS gives one an ability to seek employment authorization. You basically file all the forms together. You ask for TPS, Form 821. You ask for an employment authorization, and you're going to be asking also for travel authorization. And now it's going to be a great opportunity for somebody who fell out of status at some point to get back into status if they qualify for TPS. And to qualify for TPS usually means that you have to reside in the United States prior to a certain date. In case of Lebanon, it's October 16th. I think they said since October 16th. And you should not have disqualifying criminal convictions. And another important factor, you should not have been firmly resettled in a country and another safe country that may take you, so that you don't need TPS in the United States. Some cases for TPS are very simple. People handle them themselves, so they go for non-for-profit organizations, and some cases are more complicated. For example, you had some sort of a fraud in your record previously. It doesn't mean that your TPS will be denied, but it most likely means that you will have to also have a waiver granted before the TPS is granted. So know, if you know somebody from Lebanon, if you're from Lebanon yourself, you qualify for TPS. You know that people from Haiti, Ukraine, also a number of other countries also qualify for TPS. Make sure, if your country is designated, to file for TPS within the open window for filing. It's extremely important. If you miss that window, you will not be able to have TPS usually. And you do not want to miss it because it is a good status, okay? Another important piece of news I wanted to discuss with you relates to DACA. Last time I didn't really focus on that, but this is something that you need to know about if you are a DACA beneficiary or you're somebody who can potentially become a DACA beneficiary, but initially you didn't file for it for a variety of reasons. You know, DACA courts are, DACA is again in court. Fifth Circuit Federal Court is deciding the fate of DACA. And one more time, 12 years ago, it was first announced by the President Obama. And ever since then, DACA has been subject to litigation. in the current state of event, no new applications are being granted. You can file your application, but it's not going to be granted. Very similar situation with the PIP, but you can extend the application's status rather that's been granted previously. So now again, we're waiting for its fate. We do not know what's going to happen. In addition to that, a number of Republicans sued administration in hopes of depriving DACA beneficiaries from being able to apply for health insurance under Affordable Care Act. About 200,000 people, DACA beneficiaries, may not be able to renew their health insurance or rather apply for subsidized health insurance if the judges will decide so. The question is very simple: whether or not people who hold DACA status are in the United States legally, in legal status, authorized state. And obviously, we all know that they are. But because it's rather new status, and because some people just don't like giving immigrants any new statuses, we have this litigation going on. Also, those people who sued the administration trying to argue that somehow DACA beneficiaries are going to be a great burden on economy of the United States in connection with subsidized health insurance. But the truth is that many of them, if not all of them, are contributing, making heavy monetary contributions through their taxes to the economy of the United States. So I think it's unfair to exclude them, but this is my personal opinion. Of course, we're going to see what the courts are going to say, but this is very important because if you're a DACA beneficiary and you need the subsidized health insurance, you need to know that your chances of getting it may be affected through that litigation. And I spoke about that in my other videos this week. So please don't forget to sign up for my channels and follow me so that you're going to get those updates regularly regarding immigration and timely. Especially now, you may know that a new period of renewing your health insurance started, right? Those of you who are handling health insurance yourselves, you probably received the email today if you're from New York saying that, hey, it's time to renew your health insurance. So you know what I'm talking about. And now if you guys have questions, I'll be very happy to answer them. Thank you guys for watching me on TikTok, for your roses, for your love, for your hearts. Can we reach 1,000 hearts? Let me know. Let's show me your love and I will be answering your questions. I'll answer them anyway because I love you guys unconditionally. Every single one of you. Hi, Biogoins. I just filed with my 3 months. You just filed for your wife perhaps 3 months ago. How long will it take? All right. So if you are asking about adjustment of status, and I assume you or your wife can adjust the status with no issues, currently is the best time to file. Currently, you may be lucky and you may receive that approval in only 4 months. So fingers crossed for you. All right. Hi, Miss Didi from Instagram. Nice to see you here. If you have a pending asylum, can you apply for something else like EB1, EB3, person on F1 student status, fall out of status for 2 years and now on asylum? Miss Didi, usually you will not be able to successfully complete EB1, EB3 process in the United States. You will have to leave the United States once you are EB1 or EB3 priority date current, and for EB1 is always current for most countries, but not all. And you will have to complete the process out of the United States through consular route, usually. That being said, sometimes if you filed for your asylum while you were still in status in certain jurisdictions, and this is just tales of other lawyers, such as California and Chicago, you will be able to adjust status without leaving the United States. But for that, an exception has to apply, okay? An exception has to apply to you. You have to be from one of those jurisdictions. It's very, very important. In New York, for example, it's not going to work. It's not working in Florida, that exception, all right? But you can try. I mean, you see, it's a tricky thing. You need to know that it may not work in your jurisdiction before you're gonna start. Why? Because the process is expensive. EB1, EB3 cases like 10 to 20, $30,000. So you need to understand that if you're ready for it and you know you may have to finish overseas, you go for it. That's how it works. Let me take some questions from Facebook and YouTube. Hello, guys. Thank you very much for joining. Hi, Dimpy from Chicago. Hi, Salim. I love America. I love America too. Hi, Jabbar. I'm from India, but working in Saudi Arabia. Help. How can I be coming to the United States? This is actually a very common question I receive. To come to the United States, you have only limited opportunities, unfortunately. Usually, it will mean that you have to find an employer who will be willing to sponsor you. This being said, currently, there are plenty of employers that are hiring people and sponsoring them for green cards if your resume is decent. But you will be working probably not in New York, but somewhere in the middle of the United States. And the salary is going to be pretty low because you're not going to be working in New York or California. If you're ready for that change in your life, you can file, or you will have to reach out directly to those companies. I know McDonald's was hiring like that, and some other large companies were hiring like that, promising a green card. And if they select you and they will offer you that sponsorship, that's one way how you can come to the United States. Now, you mentioned that you're from India. So this route is good for somebody, but not from India. Why? Because India has a tremendous backlog in these particular categories of EB2, EB3 visas. If you're from India, and I don't know if you can participate in DV Lottery 2026, I will not remember that. Usually people from India come on non-immigrant visa first, like H-1B, and then they get an employer sponsor them for a green card, because this way you can extend your H-1B endlessly while you're waiting forever for that EB2, EB3 green card. So that's what people from India would do. They're not going to go for EB1 or EB2 directly. They're going to go first for H-1B. So you have to have certain education and qualifications for that. All right. Hi, Marilyn. Nice to see you. Thank you for joining. Hi, Tim Henry of Music Live. Beautiful name. My wife has a green card, but my wife is having to care for her elderly mother, and she's still in Mexico with her. Can she still be able to enter the United States? Tim, it's a great question. It basically depends on how long your wife has been out of the United States. You know that there is a very simple solution to the issue. If a green card holder has to stay out of the United States for more than 6 months prior to leaving, they should file for a re-entry permit. You have to file for the document called re-entry permit using Form I-131. You have to comply with the fingerprints requirements, meaning that you have to have your fingerprints taken in the United States, but then you can leave. And the re-entry permit is going to be issued to you, and it can be delivered to a US address in the United States or to the address overseas. But excuse me, things that can happen to you when you do the live videos. Wish me good luck. Anyway, so, but before you leave, you have to comply with the fingerprints. And once you do, you'll be fine. You can get that work permit when you're overseas, and you can get that work permit shipped to your overseas address or to the address in the United States. Now I'm going to put a little music on so I can have some water, and you guys should wait for me. if you want me to answer more of your questions. All right. I think I feel better now. Thank you very much for everybody who wishes me well. What can I say? When you speak life, anything can happen, right? So it's life. Anyway, so I hope the question of your wife staying out of the United States is clear. Now, if she did remain out of the United States for a considerable amount of time, she may try her luck and just come to the United States border, show her green card if it's not expired, and she may be let into the United States without issues, or she may be given a warning that if she does it one more time, it's water. Don't worry, I do drink from a champagne glass, but it's not champagne. So she may have to explain herself why she stayed for such a long time. But then what happens is that she has no issues. If her green card expired, all right, if her green card expired, what happens is that she will not be able to use it to enter the United States. And then she has to file for something called returning resident visa. Then it's a complicated case, okay? I would suggest that she works with an attorney because those cases are not so easy to win. All right, do we have more questions? Hello, how are you? Well, apparently I'm choking on my live video, but other than that, I'm fine. Let me see. I applied for TPS, it's 8 months, no updates. On website, it shows some estimate time since 3 months ago. How can I contact TPS 1 to Expedited, probably? Okay. I wouldn't worry about that at all, to be honest, because what happens is this. Perhaps your TPS status will soon be up for renewal, and if so, what happens is that it's a good thing, because if your TPS is up for renewal, but you were not granted TPS under the previous filing, your status will be automatically granted for the new term, all right? So I wouldn't worry about it, but if you do have to expedite your case, in my previous video, I do speak, and I have a little video from a USCIS website explaining how you can ask for any application to be expedited with USCIS. It's not that difficult, but of course it's going to it's going to depend on USCIS if they will expedite it or not. We have a Trump supporter here. nice for you to join. Please let me know if you have some questions. Thank you very much, guys. All right, let me see. Hi, Mohammed from Florida. I got a bona fide determination on U visa. When can I get U visa? After getting U visa status, can I submit for a green card? Well, unfortunately, nobody really knows when exactly your U visa petition will be granted. That's just the truth. I believe that currently you will be waiting for at least 7 years for the U visa to be granted. I know it sounds crazy, but that's just the truth. After that, what happens is that you get the U visa for a number of years, and after a certain time, you can file for the green card. I think that what happens is that you have to be physically present in the United States for at least 1 year, but I may be wrong. I need to refresh that before you can file for the green card based on that EU visa, right? Or 3 years, something like that. I just don't recall right now, I'll be honest. But it's going to be a very, very long process. Why would you want to have the U visa then? Well, for two reasons. Reason number one, you don't qualify for anything else. There are people here who are single, they don't have family members, they do not have anybody who can sponsor them, and U visa is their only chance. And reason number two, sometimes you do have family members who can sponsor you, but because you have previous immigration violations or criminal record, their sponsorship is not going to work. But U visa will, okay? So that's why, and all I can tell you that you will have to be very patient, and hopefully it's going to be approved, because U visa bona fide determination is not an indication that your U visa will be for sure approved. You need to know that. It depends on basically how badly you were hurt. I know it sounds terrible, but that's the truth. All right. Yes, thank you very much, guys. I did drink water. I'm feeling way better. I guess it's the season, the fall starts and things happening. Thank you very much. Thank you guys for your support. You're very, very supportive and nice. Thank you. Can you please tell us about the Heartland visa and if it's implemented? It's not implemented. It was a proposal that if you're going to, if I'm not mistaken, again, I do have a thing on the YouTube about that. It was a proposal that if you work in the heartland of the United States, right, those states that nobody wants to live in, you will be, and you pay taxes there, you're going to get a green card. But it's not implemented, guys. That's just how slow everything is in the United States. It takes forever to implement anything. Hi, my faithful TikTokers. Now I'm going to turn back to you. If you guys have any questions, I'll be very happy to answer them. Thank you for your hearts. Hi, Sunny, got RFE for I-864. Then I sent it with mistake, wrong household number. Can I fix it? Try it. The best thing you can do is just to try it. The rule of the RFE is that you can answer it only once. Okay? But what you can try doing, you can try through your USCIS account, filing something called typographical error. Okay? So if you know that there is a mistake on the household size, try to file through your USCIS account typographical error inquiry explaining what the mistake is, or just in general, try to upload some letter explanation with a correction through your USCIS account. I think it's the best that you can do in this situation. Why? Because if you're going to mail your documents, they can be kicked back saying that we received some unsolicited mail. All right? Just know that. Hopefully it's not going to happen to you, but hey, you can do both. Why don't you do both? Try the USCIS account and try to go for that unsolicited mail potential response. Hi, Kareem. Pending asylum, how go outside for consular interview for EB3 visa? Well, okay, so if you're not in court, you will be able to ask for advance parole, and then you travel like that. Or you can assume the risk, hoping that the visa is going to be approved. As long as you don't have any other bars, you can still do that. Hi, Adam. I applied for my citizenship today. Is my Wi-Fi on 30 can be faster if was through my green card? No. Okay, so I-130 by a green card holder is subject to preference categories and wait times. I-130 by a citizen is not subject to the preference categories and visibility. So if you receive citizenship, I-130 should be approved faster. Well, in theory, or at least should be your wife should be able to use it faster than if you're only green card holder. So it's a good thing that you filed for citizenship. It should help your wife, okay? Plus, there are other important considerations. If your wife has lost her lawful non-immigrant status in the United States, if you're just a green card holder, she will not be able to adjust to a green card in the United States. If you become a citizen, your wife will be able to adjust. So that's very important, all right? Don't forget to like and share the stream, please. It will be very helpful. If you do that, if you're watching on TikTok, send me your hearts. I see we have a lot of hearts. Let me know if we can have 1,000 hearts. Hi, Josaifa. After divorce, thank you guys. I applied I-751 pending. Then after 36 months, applied N-400. What's next? What's going to be next in this situation is that you will not be able to file for, or rather, your citizenship will not be approved until the government reviews your I-751. So at the time of your interview in connection with N-400, you need to request that the officer adjudicates your I-751 as well. Prepare with extra evidence. They usually ask for it. So try asking them for try bringing extra evidence in support of your I-751 case to your N-400 interview. If you're lucky and the officer has the file, they will adjudicate it on the same day and your case will be granted. And then you just show up for the oath ceremony. I just received a letter from one of my clients, and the client is mega super happy because the client was waiting for it for such a long time. You know, some people have to go through so much to get the citizenship. Hi, eyebrows threading. Yes, I applied 10 years ago. My sister, I'm 30, it never responds. How long does it take? Well, F4 categories of sponsorship do take a long time, all right? By now, you were supposed to receive I-130 approval, and if it 10 years ago, depending on what country your sister is from, you should have received NVC invitation to start doing something in the account, or at least a notification that SIAC will be opened for your sister's case. So, since you say that you never heard anything back for 10 years, I would recommend that you find that receipt for I-130 filing and call USCIS and see what the status of the case is. If they do not help, if they do not know, file FOIA, Freedom of Information Act request, for your own records to see what happened. As I said, hopefully the case was approved, and now you just need to find out where it stands, right? Was it pushed already to NVC, or if the priority date is current or not? That's what you will need to check, okay? All right, let me see what else we have. Thank you, Hozaifa. Very nice. Thank you guys for your love and hearts. I love helping you. As I said, no problem. Hi, Boily Hole. It's my first time applying for TPS. Great. But I'm sure your country will be extended for TPS, right? So TPS is given to a country for 18 months, and then it usually is redesignated. Within the last 60 days of that 18 months designation, the government has to announce whether or not they will be extending TPS for the next term. I honestly do not know any country that has not been redesignated. When Trump was in office the last time, he tried to stop TPS for several countries, El Salvador, Nicaragua, but you know what happened? It did not work. So I don't think you need to worry about it. I know it's extremely annoying that you have to wait for that long. It's like any day now, right? Takes forever with this USCIS, but I'm sure everything will be fine. As long as you don't have any criminal convictions, as long as you don't have any fraud, you should be okay. All right. Hi, Said. Kindly give details about EB3 Business Investor Visa. Business Investor Visa is actually EB5. If we're talking about the green card, it's not EB3. And details are that you have to have a lot of money to sponsor, to petition yourself for the green card in the United States. It may take 8 to 24 plus months for that petition to be considered. You need to have, I believe, 1.8 million, if I'm not mistaken. I just received a notification that certain numbers should be adjusted, but I believe those numbers were relevant only to parole for entrepreneurs. So regular investment is 1.8 right now, or let me take it back, 1.8 1,050,000, right? But it's going to be 1.8 at some point. So you have to have around $1 million plus, because you will have to pay business plan people, attorney. You'll have to probably, and that's not an investment. You will probably have to pay accounting firm, all right? Or you can opt for a cheaper version of this EB5 and invest into regional center. I'm laughing because you have to be very careful with these regional centers. Some of them, they go bankrupt on you after you give them a lot of money. And the law is kind of interesting. On one hand, it is trying to protect you, but there is no 100% protection against regional centers that are not so good. So if you do good research, or if you are handling everything yourself and you have a little bit more money to invest, it's possible. But that's EB5. There is a cheaper version of it, of investment visa. It's called E2, E1, E2, business visa investor and business visa trader, non-immigrant, not a green card. And here you don't have to have millions. You start with 100,000, which is still a considerable amount of money, especially if you make your money overseas. But it's usually easier to receive. It's more flexible, but it's not a green card. So what happens here is this. If you set your mind on moving to the United States, you need to meet with a lawyer and consult with an attorney, especially if we talk about investment. An immigration lawyer cannot give you business advice. It's not possible, all right? But an immigration lawyer can help you to have a strategy, how you're going to stay in the United States, what steps you're going to take, how much money you want to invest now, what is realistic for you. In my practice, what I've noticed, the main challenge for EB5 investors is the source of the money. Because you have to trace it to the very start point, how you made your money to begin with. It has to be a legal way, okay? Now, there is one couple more options for people who are good business people. EB1. If you're a talented business person, you have published materials about you, you can show that you earn good profits. Maybe you manage consulting businesses for money, for living. If you held important positions in important institutions, if you have membership in distinguished organizations, past to present, then you can sponsor yourself without this crazy investments through EB1 route. EB2 national interest waiver may also be an option for you as a business person if you have master's degree or higher, advanced degree or higher, or you have 10 years of progressive experience and you're a person of exceptional abilities. So you have different options. But not necessarily that you just have to grab your money, especially if you're not a billionaire. No, $1 million is a significant amount of money, and obviously you don't want to lose it. So there are options, and consult with an attorney, see which one is the best for you. All right, let me see. Thank you, Alexander. Hi, Norman. Yes. I'm currently, all right. Hi, Itzel. I'm currently in the process of applying for advanced parole from DACA. How long would it take? My DACA expires in March. Should I renew? You absolutely should renew. How long it takes, it depends on your situation. I used to have advanced parole for DACA approved in a month, but we asked for an expedite route, and there was a good reason for it, all right? Usually, though, advanced parole takes at least 8 months, very long time. Hi, Black Mojo 19. Me and my now wife got married online. It was a Muslim ceremony, and we like to know what's the next step. You had a proxy marriage. Proxy marriages do not work in the United States usually. You will have to show that the marriage was consummated. What does that mean? Well, you will have to show that you guys met in person before you're going to try to sponsor your wife, okay? Very, very important. Very, very important. Proxy marriage, yes. Which year your visa going on right now? I'm not sure what you mean by that, like which year is going to be approved right now, or which year is for bona fide determinations, bona fides granted if your case was filed actually very randomly. From 2016 to 2020, I received approvals from both of those years. So I don't know. I'm sorry for this window of cases. Hi, David. Can I file a 130 petition for spouse? I got green cards through Asylum. Yes, of course. If you're a green card holder, you're a green card holder, no matter how you received it. And now you would like to have the family route and sponsor somebody on the family petition, you're totally entitled to doing so. That's totally fine. Guys, can we reach 1,000 hearts today? Let me know. Show me your love. My wife lives in New York and I work in Chicago, and I'm not moving this year with her. That's a bad choice, MK. Those cases are very difficult to get approval. Thank you, thank you, Zelina. Thank you for the rose. Those cases are very difficult to be approved, MK, because immigration suspects you have a sham marriage here. So you better have a very good reason why you guys live separately, okay? Hi, Clem Stigar. Are you issued a new Social Security after your VAWA case is received? No. If you previously had Social Security, it stays with you like a stamp till the rest of your life. That one number is gonna get stuck to you. But if your VAWA is approved and you are issued new work permit, then you can ask for Social Security if you never had one. Typically, you're going to file for VAWA and adjustment of status, and you're going to ask for the work permit also with those filing. Nowadays, when you ask for the first work permit, you also ask for the Social Security to be issued. That's how it works, right? But I don't know your situation, but you need to know that Social Security number is issued once and for forever, okay? Thank you guys for the hearts. If someone receives Medicaid, can have fee waivers for N400. Yes, if you are receiving means tested benefits, you can. Yeah, you can. You should be able to. How long does it take to get a green card? Petition from citizen's daughter to a father had visa. If a US citizen child is sponsoring a parent, it should take no more than 8 to 9 months for that parent to get adjustment of status if they are in the United States. If the parent is overseas, then they will have to go through consular route. If they're somewhere like Islamabad, Pakistan, they will have to wait for a long time for that visa appointment, I'll be honest. Not sure what's happening in that consulate, but it takes forever. But in some jurisdictions, the times of waiting for the appointment became normal again. They adjusted from COVID and they're not that scary. All right, 3-4 months, not bad. All right. Thank you guys for sharing this live. Thank you for sending your hearts. How to invite my mom if I have a green card? If you're a green card holder, you will not be able to sponsor your mother for a visa, but you can ask or try your luck with a tourist visa. It will be on your mom to submit for the tourist visa. She'll have to ask the US consulate for it. What you can do is to provide a letter of support, okay? Now, I feel that those letters of support may work, may not work, but it's not a bad idea to have it. It's not going to be a defining factor, but if you do have a letter of support saying, my name is so-and-so, I have a green card, my mom is coming to visit me for that long, you specify amount of time, I promise I'm going to be supporting her during her stay in the United States, will provide room and board, and maybe travel expenses will be covered by you, then it's a good idea. That's the only way how you can invite your mom to the United States while you have a green card. Once you become a citizen, now you can sponsor your mom for a green card. That's a totally different story, right? That's a totally different story. Let me see if we have more questions. Hi Z, how fast EB3 will move? It totally depends on your country. Okay, for some countries, those EB3s are forever stucky. I do not know. India, Mexico, I think is not that bad, but India is pretty bad, and the Philippines is pretty bad. But generally speaking, usually it's 2.5 to 3 years. Hi Simar, my asylum is pending from 2016. No interview. Married to U.S. citizen and a child from 3 years. Any another way? How did you enter the United States? If you entered legally on a parole or visa, you can adjust status now. And if you are you don't have legal entry, you can try I-601A waiver while you're waiting for forever for asylum interview. I-601A waiver route. Why not? Try it. It also depends on whether you have a passport and so on and so forth, but typically you can try it. Consult with an attorney. Guys, it is worth it to invest into consultation with a good lawyer where you can sit down, have your facts sorted out, right? We also speak about your goals. What do you want to achieve? How soon you want to achieve it? What risk are you willing to take? Because, for example, in your particular situation, if you choose I-601A route, if you have to choose it, you should not be returning to your home country for that immigrant visa. You will have additional hurdle to overcome. You will have to ask the US government to give you appointment interview in a third country consulate, right? But it's possible, right? All right, I got a first response for expedited request telling me someone will reach out, but no one did in 1 month. Typical for USCIS. You know, they will reach out to you for sure. Don't worry, and you can follow up. In this situation, contact your senator. All right, contact your senator and tell them that you need help because USCIS is non-responsive. All right. Hi, Dimasia. Can F1 student take semester leave or break while having health illness? Can they stay in the United States or have to go back to their home? I'm sorry to hear about the health issues. You should discuss it with your DSO, designated school official. Okay? I know it's possible, but DSO has to help you out here. All right? Hi, Zelina. Hi, good evening. My son has a DUI and did his renewal, got denied. Any info on going forward for DACA? DACA in court, in the 5th federal court. We do not know what's going to happen with it. So he got a DUI and got denied. Is it possible to change that record somehow? I just met a number of immigrants who consulted with me with regard to whether or not the criminal convictions they have will present issues. And in every single case where criminal conviction is an issue for immigration purposes, you know what happened? They were represented by legal aid. Now, legal aid is very good. It's free. They work for free. And they also have tons of cases. They have tons of cases. For that reason, they want to process cases faster. And I have a lot of respect for them, but they want to process cases faster. They do not have resources to fight for you as much as a private criminal defense attorney would. Hence, we have DUIs for people with DACA. We have aggravated assaults for people with no status, and now they can never get status because of aggravated felony and so on and so forth. So what I recommend you to do is to go to a good criminal defense attorney who's also handling motions to reopen and try. It's not a guarantee, but try to see if you can renegotiate the plea, okay? And if there is any reason to argue that the plea was entered unfairly for your son. Okay? Just to try to wipe it out. That's all I can tell you for now. Now we also have to see if your son has other possibilities to deal with the status. DACA is very interesting. The way it was implemented and when it was implemented, if your son was under 18 years old when he received it first, he may not have accumulated unlawful presence time up until the time when it was denied for the renewal. If 180 days or less than 180 days pass since that time, he doesn't have enough unlawful presence to make it a problem for him. So we need to have this entire picture to have a plan for you or for your son to see what we can do, how we can fix it, put it back together, right? All right, guys, listen, thank you very much for today. Thank you for your questions, for your participations, for your hearts and likes. I do appreciate it a lot. Please don't forget to sign up for my channels, my YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, so that we can stay in touch and you can connect next week, Tuesday night. We're going to have another live. We'll see what interesting news we're going to have to discuss. And of course, there will be more of your questions. I'm looking forward to them. And if you do need a private consultation, call 917-885-2261 or visit my website, Shautsova.com, and we're going to go over your qualifications. So thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon.